Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. And we are finishing up here with 10.4, and we're taking a look at a little bit more of the effects of the stretch of the United States in terms of acquiring various areas around the globe. And of course, we're talking about imperialism. And one of the, I guess, major successes was the Panama Canal. And of course, being in Panama, long story short, Panama used to be part of Colombia, and the United States tried to buy the northern part of Colombia, which is Panama, and Colombia said, no, no, we're good. We don't want to sell that. And the United States, long story short, ended up starting a war in Panama, and they declared their independence. And that is how the United States got permission to build the canal. Now, as you can see, the canal on the very large scale here is just massive, and they are actually trying to expand it more so the bigger and bigger and bigger ships can get across. And it's actually a pretty interesting area where you go through right here. There's a man-made lake as well as you get through here. And you have a man-made lake over here, and you get out into Gatun Lake and out into the Atlantic Ocean. Obviously, it saved lots and lots of time in being able to take a ship through the canal as opposed to going all the way around South America. Panama Canal still very important for trade today. The Roosevelt Corollary. Now, if you remember the Monroe Doctrine from a long time ago, the Monroe Doctrine said that Europe, you cannot come and colonize any more lands in the Western Hemisphere. You stay out of the Western Hemisphere, we will stay out of the Eastern Hemisphere. And what happened here in this particular situation, the Roosevelt Corollary extended the Monroe Doctrine and said that the United States can act as a police power in Latin America, meaning that if something is going wrong or if there's a revolution or some trouble, then the U.S. can actually go in there and officially and legally, according to them, intervene militarily. And here you see Teddy Roosevelt sitting on a gun. Apparently, I guess it's pointed right. It looks to be the King of Spain, and you see the King of Spain, and there's Europe right there. As you can see, it says Europe. Reaching over for the Dominican Republic. That's what Santo Domingo is, the capital of the Dominican Republic. So this is sort of saying, hey, hands off. Dollar diplomacy. This is very interesting because prior to the idea of dollar diplomacy, we would influence people mainly with military force or threat of military force. Unless they are our friends, we can make a mutually beneficial deal. But now the difference here is the U.S. is intervening in other countries to protect U.S. businesses, certainly, but they are also using they're using financial means to sort of influence countries. Instead of threatening them, you're now also saying, hey, wouldn't it be great if you took this policy and then we could both benefit and we will help you develop whatever industry, whether it's the shipbuilding industry, perhaps it's a agricultural industry. We will try to persuade you instead of using force by using economic influence. Here's a Francisco Pancho Villa, a Mexican revolutionary who often was admired by the people. Controversial. The government of Mexico didn't like him. They thought he was a threat. But the people, the poor people especially, did like him. And he was a real revolutionary who had some unpopular incidents, such as killing several people in a pre-dawn raid in New Mexico. But overall, he tends to be loved by the people of Mexico. Emiliano Zapata, another Mexican revolutionary who also wanted to help the poor people, and he also worked closely with Pancho Villa. And there is a resistance organization in Mexico. I guess you'd call it a rebel group called the Zapatistas, which of course are named after Emiliano Zapata. John J. Pershing. We will hear more of him in World War I, as he's then later in World War I. But before that, he led troops to try and capture Pancho Villa. They never, or John J. Pershing never did, I should say. But he'll be much more significant for World War I. And that is it.